Hi, this is Guy. Today I'm going to talk about the Mammotion Luba Mini 800H all-wheel drive robotic lawnmower. Now, if you're wondering why a pest control channel is doing a lawnmower video, the reasons are simple. I have videos on how to treat your lawn, and you should always mow your lawn prior to treatment. A robotic mower can be a very good alternative to a conventional mower or a lawn service. Also, I want you to know that I am being compensated for making this video. The truth is that YouTube channels cost money to operate, and I never charge for my service. So, it does help to offset the costs by occasionally working with sponsors. That said, I also want you to know that Mammotion has requested no control whatsoever over the content of this video. That is to say, my agreement with them is that I will do an unbiased assessment of the mower and report my honest findings, be they good or bad. So, what you are going to get today is an honest review of the mower and complete directions about how to set it up and how to operate it. This video will include features and capabilities of the mower, unboxing the mower, installing the vision module, unboxing the garage, assembling the RTK station pole, installing the charging station and the RTK station, installing the app and adding devices, miscellaneous settings, auto mapping an area, manually mapping an area, creating a channel, creating a no-go zone, operating the mower, cleaning and maintenance, safety features, a comparison between the Luba Mini and the Luba 2, opportunities for improvement, and my opinion if the mower is worth the money. You will find a quick link to each of these topics in the description. Just go into the video description and click on the topic you need, and it will take you right to it. As always, if you find this video to be of help to you in any way, then please consider subscribing. And don't forget to hit that like button as well. It would mean an awful lot to me. Okay, let's get right into it. There really is a lot to like about this mower. It's loaded with a lot of great features. I'm going to take just a few minutes to go over them, and these are in no particular order. Well, the app does take a little getting used to, and there's a bit of a learning curve. After you understand how it works, you can do some amazing things with it. You can adjust the cutting height of the grass to meet your own needs, and you can change the cutting height for different areas of your yard. You can also choose different mowing modes. Available options include parallel, checkerboard, or diamond grid. Personally, I find that the mower does the best job if you select checkerboard because it will mow in one direction and then mow again at a 90-degree angle to it, thereby mowing your lawn twice in two different directions. I find this gives you the cleanest cut, but you can experiment with the different settings to see which ones you like best. The mower will allow you to create up to 15 mowing zones and no-go zones, and you can set a schedule for when to mow each area. Personally, I have opted not to use this feature because I never know what the mower may encounter on the lawn or along its way when it's following a channel. While it's true that the mower does have some pretty good safety features to prevent a mishap, I still think it's a good idea to take a look at the lawn to make sure that there's nothing there that can cause the mower to get into trouble. This brings me to another feature that I really like a lot. You can stay connected to the mower and see where it is at all times. You can also open the vision module and actually watch the mower in operation from a remote location. I find this to be very handy because the mower may sometimes get into trouble. Every now and then, the mower may get stuck in some sand, or it could encounter a situation where it decides to simply shut down. So far, the Mini has not gotten into a problem like this, but the Luba 2 that I own has done this a few times in the past year. So, every now and then, it's a good idea to open the app and see what the mower is up to. Another feature that I personally do not use, but it's still pretty cool, is that the mower can connect to Alexa or Google Assistant. For me, I just prefer to use the app, so I've not tested this feature. Still, for those of you that would like to give it a try, I am confident that you will find that it works quite well. The mower is equipped with Automapping, but my personal experience with the mower suggests that you need to have just the right conditions for this to be a workable option. Another great feature is that if the mower fails to receive a satellite signal during operation, it will continue to mow the lawn. It's not just going to stop simply because it lost sight of the satellite. Now, the company claims that the mower can navigate up to an 80% slope, but I live in Florida, which is one of the flattest places on the planet, so I was not able to test this feature. Still, I can tell you that this is a very powerful mower. I have seen the wheels rip out grass when the mower is getting stuck, and it's four-wheel drive. So I have absolutely no doubt that the mower will climb steep hills with no problem at all. The company also claims that the mower can cut tall, thick grass. This is a feature that I have tested, and I can tell you that the mower will handle some very tall, thick, and wet grass with no problem at all. Here's a photo of some grass that I let grow just for testing purposes. It rained here for 4 days straight before I mowed the lawn. As you can see from the after mowing photo, it did a great job. The only problem was that it left a lot of mowed grass in rows along the property. The mower does not mulch, so if you let the grass get too long, you may encounter this problem. I find that robotic mowers work best if you mow the lawn before the grass gets too tall. In fact, you will get the best result if you mow the lawn every day or every other day. I mean, why not? The mower is doing all the work for you. Now, if you'd like to get a bit playful, the mower has the capability to do lawn printing. You can literally write letters on your lawn. This is a feature that I have not tested because, frankly, I don't have any real use for it, but I can imagine situations where it could be pretty cool. Another very cool feature about this mower is that you can operate it 24/7. A lot of robotic mowers should not be operated in the rain, but rain is not a problem for this mower. I can confidently send this mower out to mow at night, and I don't need to worry about it returning to the charging station just because it experiences some rain. This is a big advantage because you can set it loose on your entire yard and it will keep mowing until the job is finished. If it runs low on battery power, it will return to the charging station and resume where it left off after it is sufficiently charged. While not perfect, the mower has some very good safety features that will prevent it from injuring people, pets, and wildlife. I think it is highly unlikely that this mower will harm children or animals. Finally, one of the things I love most about this mower is that they made the battery replaceable. If the battery wears out after a couple of years, you don't need to go out and buy a new mower. You simply remove 4 screws from the battery and it slides right out. At the time I made this video, the battery was selling for $189. Okay, so let's open the box and see what we've got. When you open the top of the box, the first thing you come to is a quick start guide. The first box I just happened to put my hand on was the accessory kit. This includes a power supply for the RTK station, anchor screws that you can use to hold down the charging station, an Allen wrench that was designed to tighten those screws into the ground, a tool that you can use to install the 3D vision module on top of the mower and change the blades, hold-down stakes to keep the wires securely in place while on the ground, concrete anchors that can be used to either hold the RTK station bracket to the wall or mount the charging station to a concrete surface, and clips that can be used to hold wires to the RTK station pole. If you noticed that the tool I showed you for working on the mower only had a handle, then you are very observant. It is supposed to have both a Phillips bit and a T20 hex bit. I'm sure that was just an oversight that was left out of the box, and I have no doubt if you buy one of these mowers, you will most likely receive the entire screwdriver. The next item I happened to pick up was the box that contains the power supply for the charging station. This also included an extension cord for the RTK station as well. You will also find a product guide that comes neatly boxed. Next, I took out the 3D Vision module. They include a brush in the box that can be used to brush off the mower blades. Also included in the box is the pole that you will use for the RTK station. This comes in 2 sections. They also provide a cover that goes on top of the charging station. You also get an extra set of blades and an extra set of screws for the blades. You get an extra security key as well. Oh yes, they also give you a spike for the bottom of the RTK station pole in case you want to mount it in the ground. And naturally, they were also going to include the RTK station itself. After you remove those items, then you can remove the styrofoam packing to reveal the top of the mower. Simply lift the mower out of the box and set it aside. Now you can remove some more of the packing material and then lift out the charging station. By the way, I almost forgot. They also include the antenna for the RTK station. Now that you have the mower out of the box, you can install the Vision module on top of the mower. Remove the tape and paper covering to expose the mounting location. There are 3 wires that need to be connected, and you cannot possibly mess this up because they are all different. Just connect the wires and tuck them into place as neatly as you can without twisting them. Position the Vision module so that the holes line up and tighten the screws in place with the provided tool. Be careful not to over-tighten the screws. Just snug them down securely. The next thing I did was unbox the garage. The garage is an accessory that you must purchase separately, but I highly recommend that you do that. I have owned a Luba 2 for about a year now, and I can tell you that the garage is a must-have. It helps keep the mower out of the elements, which I believe will significantly extend the life of the mower. The garage comes out of the box pretty easily, and assembly is quick and easy. The last thing you need to assemble is the RTK station pole. Just screw the sections together and then screw in the stake if you're going to mount it in the ground. I will attach the RTK station to the pole when I go out and start setting things up. It's a simple matter of screwing the RTK station onto the top of the pole. One of the things I really love about the Luba Mini is that you can install it right next to your house even if you have a 12-inch overhang. This is not the case with many other robotic mowers. Frankly, I didn't think the mower would work under an overhang, but I tried it and it worked perfectly. While locating the mower next to the house is a great location, I'm not going to do that. In my case, I have a great spot right next to my pool pump. I installed pavers for the charging station to rest on, but it is designed to be mounted on your lawn, so I'm going to show you how to do that. But I have found from using my Luba 2 over the past several months that it works better if you place the charging station on concrete or if you install some paving stones. That's what I did for the Luba 2, and after I demonstrate how to install everything on the grass, I'm going to move the Luba Mini right next to the Luba 2. For that reason, I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to make the lawn installation look too neat, because I have no intention of leaving the charging station or the RTK station in this location. So, all you need to do is find a flat place on your lawn that is reasonably close to a ground-faulted outlet and secure the charging station to the ground with 4 stake screws. Now I'm going to attach the antenna to the RTK station and then attach the RTK station on top of the pole. If you're going to locate the RTK station on the ground, you can place it close to the charging station and connect the wire directly into the charging station. The wire can easily be run through the back of the charging station, where you will find a connection for that purpose. Keep in mind that unlike the charging station, you cannot locate the RTK station under an overhang. The RTK station must have a clear sight to satellites. So, if you locate the charging station under an overhang, then you need to either locate the RTK station in an open area away from the house, or you need to mount it on the wall. In this case, you can use the power supply and the extension cord that are included for this purpose. If you have the garage, simply place it over the top of the charging station and secure it in place with 4 of the screw stakes. Okay, Now that I've demonstrated the way you are supposed to do it, I'm going to move everything to their permanent location. Now that you have the charging station, the RTK station, and the mower all set and ready to go, the next thing you need to do is install the app. The app is available at the Apple Store or on Google Play. You can also install the app by scanning the QR code that is in the product guide that comes with the mower. The app is going to look like this. When you open the app, you should see this screen come up. Just click on Sign Up. Now click on While using this app. This will take you to the Sign Up screen. The app defaults as the United States for your country, but that can be easily changed by clicking on the box. Next, enter your email address and then click on the Send button. Please note that you only get 60 seconds to enter the code, or it's going to time out. I have no idea what the logic is behind that, but since that is the case, I recommend that you have your email open so you can quickly access the code. Keep in mind that the clock starts running the moment you click on Send, and it may take a little while for the email to show up in your inbox. So, you may only have a few seconds to get the code entered. In my case, it took 2 attempts because the email with the code didn't show up until after it timed out. Considering the way email works, I think the time limit should either be eliminated or extended to at least 5 minutes. Here's a useful tip though. If you hit Send again, they are going to send you the exact same code. So, wait until you get the email from the first time you clicked Send and make a note of the number. Then, the second time you click on Send, you can just enter the same number that you received the first time. So, you will have plenty of time to make the entry this time. Now that you have the code entered, go ahead and click Next. Now click on Agree and Continue. You can now create a password and click on Confirm. When the next screen opens, click on Go to Enable. Now, allow Mammotion to access photos and media on your device. Next, click on the Add button. This will bring up a screen asking you to check the device name. The truth is, though, that all you need to do is turn on the robot and your phone's Bluetooth and stay reasonably close to the mower. Then just click Next. This will bring up a list of available devices. Just make sure the Bluetooth is connected and click on the plus sign for the device you wish to add. By the way, the app is going to ask you to upgrade the firmware from time to time. This is likely to happen when you add the mower to the app and periodically after that. Mammotion is always working to improve the functionality of the mower, so it's a good idea to upgrade the firmware when they request it. After the firmware is finished upgrading, just click on OK. Speaking of firmware, you can look to see if there are updates to the firmware, upload logs to Mammotion, and adjust a variety of settings by tapping on the icon on the top right-hand side of the screen. When you do that, a screen will open up that will provide you with these options. You will see more options if you scroll down a bit. Please note that you can look at settings for the robot and app settings as well. I think all of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory, but one thing that I would like to point out is that it's probably a good idea to set the mower for multi-point turning. This is because 0-degree turning can sometimes tear up your lawn. Other than that, I would encourage you to play with the settings a bit to see what works best for you. Now that you have this stuff set up and functioning properly, you can actually start to have some fun with the mower. Before it can go out and mow your lawn though, you need to tell it what area you want to mow. To do this, you need to map an area. There are 2 ways of doing this. You can map the area manually yourself, or you can ask the mower to do it automatically. Since I think mapping automatically is probably going to be appealing to most people, let's start with that. To begin, click on Create a Map. This is going to bring up a screen that I initially found a bit confusing. I thought it was asking me to choose a location for the charging station, but I already did that. Upon reading it a bit more carefully, I realized that this was just another tutorial. The Next button at the bottom of the screen does absolutely nothing. Since you already have all of this stuff finished, Just swipe through any pages that have a grayed out Next button. If the Next button is black, then just click on it. After clicking through several screens, you will finally reach a screen that provides an opportunity to start mapping a task area. So, just click on Start Mapping a Task Area. Since the mower is most likely in the charging station, you need to get it out of there. You can do it manually, but I always find that the best way to do it is to just click on Tap here to leave. The mower will automatically leave the charging station and then wait for further instructions. After the mower leaves the charging station, you will see a navigation screen that allows you to move the mower. The arrows on the left side of the screen will make the mower go forward and backward. The arrows on the right side of the screen will allow you to turn the mower left or right. How far you move your finger will control the speed of these operations. Use the controls to move the mower to the point where you wish to start mapping and align it with the edge of the lawn. Now, click on Start Mapping a Task Area. A screen will come up to ask you to control the robot to the perimeter where you wish to start mapping. You already did that, so just click on Robot Reached its Destination. Now you'll see a screen that will give you an option to either map manually or allow the mower to auto map it for you. I'm going to select Auto Mapping. I will cover manual mapping in the next segment. The next screen is simply telling you to keep an eye on the mower while it is auto mapping, and is just reminding you that there is a stop button at the top of the mower in case it does something stupid. I think this is a very good idea. This is a very smart mower, but it is still just a machine, and believe me, it can get into trouble. This is particularly true if you have never done this before. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. My granddaughter placed some border stones around a tree seed that she planted, and the mower didn't see them. As you can see, the mower drove right over them. To be fair, the grass was taller than the border stones, and they were lower than the bumper of the mower, but regardless of the reasons, the point is that you need to be watching. If you see the mower getting into a problem, don't mess around with the app. Just run over to the mower and press the stop button. The mower will immediately stop whatever it is doing and shut down. After the mower is finished mapping the area, a screen will come up to tell you that the mapping is completed. Just click on Save. Now, if you are not mapping an area that is immediately adjacent to the charging station, then you will need to create a channel from the charging station to the area that you just mapped. A channel tells the mower what route it should take to go from one area to another. I will talk about how to create a channel after I go over how to do the mapping manually. Before I do that, though, I need to point out that auto mapping is not appropriate in some situations. For example, if you share an area of lawn with your neighbor, the mower is not going to know the difference between your yard and your neighbor's yard. So, it's just going to map the entire thing. You can compensate for this if you just let it map your neighbor's yard as well, and then create a no-go zone for the areas that are on your neighbor's property. But it's probably much easier and more accurate if you just manually map those sorts of areas. I would also manually map areas where the lawnmower could become damaged if it made a mistake. Don't let it auto map near a cliff or something. In other words, I recommend using some common sense when using the auto mapping feature. The truth is, auto mapping an area is pretty cool, but you really need very good conditions for it to work well. The property that I am mowing is a bit of a mess, so I find that it is much easier just to go ahead and map everything manually. This is really not a big deal because it is very quick and easy to do. To begin, go to the home screen and tap on the mower. Now, click on Map. Next, click on Create. Then, click on Area. A screen will come up to remind you that you need to make sure that the area is free of obstructions. Assuming that is the case, just click on Got It. This will open a screen that will advise you to control the mower to a point where you want to begin mapping. Just like with auto mapping, the controls on the left side of the screen will allow you to move the mower forward and backward, and the controls on the right side of the screen will allow you to turn the mower left or right. After you reach the point where you want to start mapping, click on Start Mapping a Task Area. You will now have a choice between manually mapping an area or auto mapping an area. I'm going to select Manual Mapping. A screen will now open up that will advise you not to stand in front of the mower because it is automatically going to leave the charging station. Just click on Start. You will now see a screen that is going to advise you to maintain a distance of 1.5 meters between you and the mower. For those of you who do not speak metric, that would be about 5 feet. I can tell you from experience that you can be closer or further away from the mower than 1.5 meters, and it will still work very well. I have been as close as 15 centimeters, or about 1 foot, and I've also been as far away as 9 meters, or about 30 feet. So, there's no need to overthink this. If the mower is not responding to the controls, just get a bit closer. Anyway, to move on, just click Got It. Now a screen will come up asking you to control the robot along the perimeter of the area you wish to map. So, just manually drive the mower around the area that needs to be mapped and finish at the exact same point where you started. You will now get a message that the mapping is completed. So go ahead and click on Save. This is going to return you to a screen that will show you all the areas that you mapped. Please note the large gap between Area 1 and 2. If I assign the mower to Area 2, it is not going to know how to get there because I have not created a channel. So let me show you how to do that. As you can see, the mower is located outside of an area. The mower will not know how to get to an area unless you create a path for it to follow, or what they refer to as a channel. Therefore, to get it to work, I had to create a channel from the charging station to Area 1. And now that I have created Area 2, I need to create a channel from Area 1 to Area 2. To do this, just drive the mower to a place in Area 1 that is closest to the path that you wish to take to get to Area 2. In this case, I have an opening in the fence that I want the mower to travel through. Then, I want it to travel across an area of lawn that has not been mapped. After that, I want it to cross a driveway to get to Area 2. To accomplish this, start at the home screen and tap on the mower. This will bring up a screen that shows you the areas that you have already mapped. Now click on Map. Next, click on Create. Then click on Channel. A screen will now come up to tell you to create a channel. Just click on Got It. Now you will see a screen that will tell you to manually control the robot to a task area and then start mapping the channel. If you have been following my instructions, then you should already be in the correct location, so you can simply tap on Start Mapping a Channel. Now, simply drive the mower to the area that you wish to connect to, and it will stop after it enters that area. When it does, a screen will come up giving you the opportunity to save it. If you are happy with the channel that you created, just click Save. A screen will come up that will show you the channel that you just created. Now that you have all this stuff finished, I'll bet you are eager to start mowing some grass. Well, that is certainly understandable. I'm afraid there is just one more thing that you need to do. You need to create no-go zones. Even though you have everything mapped and you have created a channel to all the mapped areas, there may be some obstacles inside your mapped areas where you do not want the mower to go. This could be a garden, swimming pool, trees, and that sort of thing. In my case, one of the things I don't want the mower to mess with is a playground. By creating a no-go zone, we can tell the mower that this area is off limits and it should never step foot, or in this case wheels, on this area of the property. So let me show you how to do that. As always, you can begin at the start screen and tap on the mower. Next, click on Map. Now, click on Create. Then, click on No-Go Zone. A screen will now come up that will ask you to create a no-go zone in essentially the same areas that I mentioned previously. Just click on Got It. The next screen will open up your manual controls and ask you to drive the mower around the area where you want the no-go zone to be. So, just drive the mower to the starting point where you wish to begin mapping and click on start mapping a no-go zone. Another screen will open up that also has manual controls that will allow you to operate the mower around the perimeter of the no-go zone. When you reach the exact same spot where you started, a screen will come up to tell you that the no-go zone has been completed. If you are happy with the no-go zone, then click on Save. A screen will come up that shows you the completed no-go zone. You can create as many no-go zones as you need. Now that you have everything all set and ready to go, operating the mower is really easy. You have 3 options available for mowing your lawn. If you would like to mow all of the areas that you have mapped, then simply click on Start. This will bring up a screen that will allow you to adjust the cutting height. After you select the height that you want for your grass, click on Next. A screen will open up that will show you the results that the mower arrived at when checking to see if everything is okay. Please note that the 3D vision status does not have a green check mark next to it. This is because I am asking the mower to operate at night, and the 3D vision module will not function in the dark. Normally, this would be in the green. The mower will allow operation with the vision module in the yellow, but it may not allow you to operate the mower if any of the other items are not in the green. If you have anything else that is not showing green, then you need to fix the problem before you can mow your lawn. If everything looks okay, then go ahead and click on Next. The mower will now go out and mow your lawn. If you would like to mow just some of the areas that you've mapped, there are 2 ways to do this. You can either tap on the mower or you can tap on New Task. If you tap on the mower, a screen will open up that will show you all the areas that you've mapped. Just click on Mow. A screen will open up that will allow you to select the specific areas that you wish to mow. Select the areas that you wish to mow and then click on Confirm. This will open the screen that will allow you to change the areas you wish to mow, and it will allow you to adjust settings. You'll also see the total amount of square feet that will be mowed and how long it's going to take. To adjust the settings, just click on Default. This will open up a task assignment screen that will allow you to make a variety of adjustments. If you would like to see more settings, just click on More. This will open up a screen that will give you all your options. After you have finished changing the settings, you can exit the screen by clicking on the back arrow at the top left-hand side of the screen. This will take you back to the task screen. To begin mowing the lawn, just click on Start. This will bring you to the same screen you saw earlier, where the mower is going to check to make sure that everything is operating properly. Just like before, if everything looks good, then click on Next. Your last option for selecting specific areas that you want mowed is to click on New Task. This will open up a screen that will allow you to create a new task. Just click on New Task. This will open up that same screen that you've seen before that will allow you to select the areas that you wish to have mowed. From here, just follow the same directions that I've already outlined previously. After you tell the mower to start mowing, you will see that the areas that you selected to mow will turn dark green. You will always know the position of the mower, and you can always check the progress. Congratulations! You have now successfully mowed your lawn with the Luba Mini. Another one of the things that I really love about this mower is that it requires very little maintenance. There is a lot of room around the mowing disc, so it does not clog up easily with wet grass. But occasionally, it is a good idea to wash off the grass buildup under the mower. Simply turn the mower on its side and use a garden hose to rinse off all that wet grass. The mower will get very little grass buildup if you are mowing dry grass, but wet grass will stick to the bottom of the mower. So, if you have the mower operating in the rain or on wet grass, then I always rinse it off before I send it out again. You will find that the wet grass washes off very easily. A garden hose is all you need, and you should never use a power washer to clean the mower. After you've finished washing off the bottom of the mower, turn it back on its wheels and use a garden hose to rinse off the top and sides of the mower. Most of the dirt is going to rinse right off, but you will probably need to wipe off the rest with a clean dry rag. Keep in mind that it is important to wipe off the front of the vision module. Aside from periodically washing the mower, you are going to need to replace the mowing blades when they get dull. You will know when they are dull because the mower will stop doing a good job mowing your lawn. If the grass is not being cut cleanly, the problem is most likely dull blades. Replacing the blades is very easy, and keep in mind that you do not need new blades every time they get dull. Mammotion designed mowing blades that can be used 4 times before you need to replace them. This is because the blades have 2 holes in them. Most of the other robotic mowers use blades that only have 1 hole, so the blades can only be used twice. This is a nice cost-saving feature. Mower blades only use 1 edge to cut, so the first time you change the blades, you can simply flip the blade over to expose a new cutting edge. When that one becomes dull, you can turn the blade around and use the other hole. When the blade becomes dull, you can flip the blade over again and use the final edge. I find that I get an entire summer out of 1 set of blades. How often you need to replace them will depend upon your mowing conditions, how much area you need to mow, and how often you do the mowing. Replacing the blades is very easy. Simply remove the screw and the blade comes right off. Keep in mind that the blades are razor sharp, so you need to be very careful. The blades can cut you very easily. When screwing the blades back onto the mower, keep in mind that the blade must revolve around the smooth portion of the screw that is adjacent to the screw head. I always hold my finger behind the blade to force it up into position so that it is located on the correct part of the screw while I'm tightening them. After you are finished, make sure that the blades revolve freely. If you are cutting tall grass, the blades can sometimes get jammed up with grass that turns around the blades. If this happens, you can usually just pull the grass out with your fingers, but sometimes you do need to remove the screw to clean it out. When you are washing the bottom of the mowing deck, it's always a good idea to check to make sure that the blades are still revolving freely. I think Mammotion has done a pretty good job incorporating safety features into the mowers that they make, and the Luba Mini is no exception. Of course, these things are robots after all, so they are not perfect. When I tested my Luba 2, it made mistakes, and so did the Luba Mini. I used an old fence post that I had to simulate what the Mini would do if I forgot to create a no-go zone around something like a garden. The Mini has 3 obstacle protection mode settings, and I tested all 3. The first test was with the setting on off. This means the mower will cover more area, but it pretty much relies on the bumper not to get into trouble. As you can see, when the bumper contacted the obstacle, it immediately backed up and changed direction. So it was looking good so far. Then it contacted the obstacle from an angle, and the results were much different. The mower literally tried to go over the top of the obstacle to get to the other side. This is not exactly the outcome that I was hoping for. The mower seemed to get stuck in that position, but then it backed up and freed itself. So, even though this was less than a desirable outcome, the mower did not make it across the barrier into my pretend garden. Interestingly, when the mower approached from the opposite direction, it seemed to remember that the obstacle was there and started avoiding it, but didn't quite make it around, and it decided to climb over the obstacle again. It seemed to start backing up to avoid it, but then it decided to climb right over the obstacle, and I heard the mower blade start to contact the wood, so I hit the stop button. To resume testing, I needed to remove the mower manually. Therefore, my conclusion was that I should not operate the mower when this setting is in the off position. Nevertheless, I decided that I would see what happens if I got in front of the mower, because I am a much larger target. The mower made contact with my legs, but then immediately backed up and moved on. So, I think the mower does okay in the off setting if it is running into something large enough like a person, but it does not do so well with obstacles that it can manage to get over. Next, I tried the standard setting. When the mower approached the obstacle, it immediately recognized it and backed off before the bumper contacted it. Then, the mower successfully navigated its way around the obstacle. So, it gets a passing grade for obstacle detection in this setting. Just for the heck of it though, I decided to get in front of the mower to see what it would do. Not surprisingly, the mower bumper did not need to come in contact with me in order to avoid me. Okay, but how about small animals? I decided that it would be very uncool to throw small animals in front of the mower, and I forgot to bring something with me to simulate small animals, so I took off my shoe and used that. As you can see, the mower again did a perfect job, seeing and avoiding my simulated small animal. Therefore, I must conclude that the standard setting is much safer than the off setting, and this setting passed my safety testing. The final setting is sensitive. This is supposed to be the safest setting, and they will tell you that in this setting, the mower may miss some areas of your lawn. Just as with the standard setting, it did a perfect job of avoiding my simulated garden edge. It also did a great job avoiding me. So I decided to do a small animal shoe test, and it started doing very well until it didn't. At one point, it started running over my shoe, and I had to hit the stop button because I really didn't want to have my shoe cut up with the mower blades. I found this somewhat surprising because this was supposed to be the safest setting. Anyway, my conclusion is that there seems to be little difference between the standard setting and the sensitive setting. So I think I'm just going to leave the mower in the standard setting, which happens to be the default setting as well. Now, just for laughs, I wondered what the Mini would do if I put it in a confined area with the Luba 2 and let them cut the same area of lawn. I was curious which one would demonstrate the best avoidance capabilities. As you can see, even though both mowers were set so they would not rely on the bumpers, that is exactly how they interacted. The very first thing they did was kiss each other on the bumpers. Is that kind of a robot greeting or something? Is it a good idea for me to leave these two side by side in their charging stations? I mean, is there romance in their future? Anyway, the next time they encountered each other, the Luba 2 just backed off until it decided it didn't want to anymore, and then it moved forward and the Mini changed direction. It seemed to take a while, but eventually both mowers stopped using their bumpers and switched to their sensors. I don't know. Maybe they decided that all this romance stuff was not for them, and they just came to their sensors. I know, I heard it too. Yeah, that was pretty bad. I mentioned earlier that I also own a Luba 2. So, now that I've tested both mowers, how are they different and which one is better? Well, besides the manufacturer, both mowers have some things in common. They both have some great safety features, a vision module, and they operate off the same great app. But the Luba 2 is much faster because it features side-by-side mowing discs, so it covers more area with each pass. That means the Luba 2 can handle larger lawns. So you can score 1 point for the Luba 2. That aside, I think the contest goes to the Luba Mini. The Mini has a replaceable battery, which is a huge advantage over the Luba 2. This makes replacing the battery very affordable, and it extends the life of the mower. The Mini can easily operate in the rain, but this is not advisable with the Luba 2. Wet grass can jam up the cutting discs on the Luba 2, and the mower will stop operating. This may leave the mower stuck in an area where it can be easily stolen. Therefore, I do not allow the Luba 2 to operate in the rain or at night. The Mini can operate 24/7. So, which mower is the best deal? Frankly, I'm leaning toward the Mini, but the truth is, I would love to see the Luba 2 outfitted with the same features as the Mini. If the Luba 2 featured a replaceable battery, and if it could operate in the rain, then this would be a no-brainer. Let me share with you my view of machinery. Machines are built by people, and people are not perfect. Therefore, machines are not going to be perfect either. Until we figure out a way to come up with perfect people, we are probably not going to enjoy perfect machines either. Nevertheless, Mammotion is a company that constantly strives to improve. They may never reach their goal of perfection, but that is not going to stop them from trying. I think the Mini is proof of this because I cannot find a whole lot to complain about. In fact, only 2 possible issues come to mind, and neither is a big deal. While I applaud them for making the battery replaceable, which is a huge improvement, I would like to see the battery replacement designed so it can be easily popped in and out. I think it would be great if the battery was just held in by a watertight door that could be easily opened with the press of a button. This way, the battery could be removed when it is low on power, and you can simply slide in another battery so the mower can keep operating. Of course, this would mean you would need an external charger, but this configuration is used with all sorts of battery-operated equipment. Doing this would also mean that they would probably need to install a much smaller battery so that the mower will not lose its memory during battery replacement. That backup battery should also be replaceable, but it can remain in the mower until it finally wears out. When the mower finally does go back to the charging station, the backup battery would then get charged for the next use. Its only function would be to preserve the memory and would not have the power to operate the mower at all. Again, this is not a big deal, but it would mean that the mower could cut a lot more area than it does now. With regard to security, I would also like an option to be able to turn on a siren that would go off if the front wheels were lifted off the ground. Right now, the mower will tell you that the front wheels have been lifted off the ground, but the only person that's going to hear it is the person doing the lifting. I think a siren may be an effective way to stop a potential thief from leaving with the mower. This would be especially true if the only way to turn it off is through the app. Not only would this discourage the person taking the mower, but it would also alert the owner that the mower is either being stolen or it's in some sort of trouble. Anyway, other than that, I really don't see anything that may require improvement. Overall, I think the mower is well designed and something of an engineering masterpiece. So, my compliments to the company, their engineering staff, and all those people who worked to create a really impressive design. As I have already mentioned, this mower was very well designed. That said, is it really worth the money? I tested the Luba Mini 800H, which is currently selling for about $1,400. I would have preferred to test the Luba Mini 1500H because I have more property than the 800H can really handle. The 1500H is currently selling for about $1,800. So I think it makes sense to purchase the 1500H if you have anything but a very small yard. For an extra $400, it's kind of a no-brainer. So, assuming you take my advice, I think it makes sense to purchase a mower like this if you are someone who really takes pride in their lawn and wants it to look perfect. I think it also makes sense if you are like me and getting a bit too long in the tooth to be running outside in the hot sun mowing your lawn. Besides, there are a lot of other things I'd rather be doing with my time. You know, like kicking back on the couch enjoying a cold one. Let me see. Out mowing the lawn in the hot Florida sun, or hanging out on the couch enjoying the game? Tough decision, but I think I'm going to go watch the game. Sure, I can hire someone to mow my lawn, but even where I live, where it's rather cheap to get your lawn mowed, it still costs about $60 a month, and you need to pay for that all year long. That's $720 a year. So, the mower pays for itself in a couple of years. Given that the mower has a replaceable battery, I suspect that you will get a lot more service than that out of the mower. So, the bottom line is that I think it's a pretty good deal. So yes, I can honestly say that I would purchase this mower for myself. Again, if you found this video to be of help to you in any way, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit that like button as well. It would mean an awful lot to me. Be well, my friends.